Hello, this is Chaim Shapiro from Touro University, and welcome to the eighth installment of LinkedIn in 4 minutes or less. Today, we're going to talk about LinkedIn recommendations and other LinkedIn profile sections you could add if they're relevant to you. Once again, always go into the edit mode by clicking on your little picture. Recommendations we'll see here as soon as the page loads are way down here towards the bottom, and it gives people the opportunity to provide a narrative about you. So here's a great recommendation that I got that actually highlights something that happened and how I did at a LinkedIn workshop that I gave at her particular school. It's very nice of Chloe to actually give this to me. And the way you actually request these recommendations by clicking the little plus button right over here, ask for a recommendation. You need to be directly connected to the person from whom you are making the request. But if you start typing in a name, I'm going to start typing in, for example, my colleague, Sari Singer, click the continue button, select relationship and the position you're in. This is the important part. Don't just have, please write a recommendation for me. I want to say to Sari specifically what it is I'd like her to focus on and why I'm specifically requesting that she write me a recommendation. Then when I click the send button, Sari has the opportunity to either write that recommendation or not. Don't worry, a person cannot put a recommendation on your profile unless you approve it, so you have the ability to approve before it actually shows up. Let's say you want to make a small change to a recommendation that somebody gave you. So I click on this little pencil button right over here. It's going to take me into the opportunity to click another pencil. And if I wanted to, I could ask Chloe to make small changes and tweaks to her LinkedIn recommendation. And you see here specifically, could you change? And I could tell her specifically what it is I'd like her to highlight or take out or change in order to make the recommendation fit more perfectly for me. Now, she has the ability to either do this or not do this. And when she does do it, I have the choice whether to include that new recommendation or just keep the old one. So she can't actually post it onto my account either, unless I actually agree to that. One of the problems here is LinkedIn doesn't give you the opportunity to order these. They come in reverse chronological order, but you can toggle on and off certain LinkedIn recommendations to make sure that your top two are the ones that you want to focus on. I tend to think that you want to try to get to between 3 and 5 recommendations on LinkedIn. I can't prove this, but I tend to believe that when you get to 3 to 5 recommendations, LinkedIn kicks you up a little bit in the search rankings. You also, students are always asking me what kind of people they should be using for those recommendations. It's not going to be classmates or your roommate. Generally, professors, deans, or people for whom you have worked that can give a good narrative about you as a professional. Just the last part of the profile I want to focus on is other LinkedIn sections. You see here that I also have a license and certification section. There's a lot of other things you could add. Go to add profile section, and that actually gives you the opportunity to add those sections to your profile based on what you specifically add. Services, skills we already talked about, recommended, license and certifications, projects, courses, and under additional, you see here patents. I actually had a client once that had a patent, and test scores. Test scores wouldn't be that you got a 95 on your biology midterm. It's talking about the test scores you got on the CPA examination and things like that. Then you can simply add those to your profile and go through it the same way you do with everything else. Go in there, make sure that you actually sync it to the actual certification board and include the actual credential or the test score or whatever it happens to be. It's a great way to provide additional information and personalize your LinkedIn profile.